Okay, so yeah, you guys were totally right. A lot of you guys mentioned in the last two videos that once we got to the second couple, that's when the show's really gonna win you over. And don't get me wrong, Junjo Romantica already kind of had won me over. But yeah, by the time we get to Junjo Egoist, yeah, I'm all about this show. I would also like to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter, at Sirius9752, at DK2019, at Kisachan94, at Clear Chicken, and at Elusive Fangirl. Thank you all so much for sharing last week's video over on Twitter, everybody. And yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the title there. As you can see, we are once again running a giveaway, and it is, of course, once again thanks to the good people over at Right Stuff Anime, who once again decided to do something really cool and reached out to my humble little channel and asked if we wanted to run a Junjo Romantica giveaway. And of course, your boy said yes please, so if you would like to get your hands on Season 1, 2, and 3 of Junjo Romantica on Blu-ray, and a $25 gift card to use at Right Stuff Anime, then be sure to share this video and tag both me and Right Stuff and make sure you're following both of us, and you will be entered into the giveaway. You have until the end of Thursday to get your name entered into the giveaway, and then by the time the next Junjo Romantica video rolls around on Friday, we'll have announced our winner and we'll be reaching out to said winner to get their shipping info to send them their free stuff. Once again, I want to give a big thank you to Right Stuff Anime, who have just been very cool to me. This is the second giveaway we run on the channel, and I can't thank them enough. They're really great people. So yeah, big thank you to them, and without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. So like, comment, subscribe, and thank Right Stuff Anime. Okay, so we go from a lovely little thank you to Right Stuff Anime into a egotistical innocence discussion. Because yeah, that's quite a way to open an episode of a show. I don't even know what screenshot I'm gonna use for this, cause like, it's all racy, and it's some spicy content to start this video with. These episode discussions are gonna get very spicy very quickly, and I'm very okay with that. I will say that this is the first Junjo Romantica episode to go by where I don't have to add anything to the yikes counters. I say we don't have to. I could, because again, the whole egotistical innocence thing it's a yikes, but not so much a, like, what I would consider a full-out yikes to add to the yikes counter is the whole, like, there wasn't like total consent given. And that's the one thing I gotta say is, no matter how you feel about it in terms of these characters' emotions, both parties in the opening egotistical innocence part of the episode, both consent was there for both parties. So I'm not gonna count it as a yikes. It's not necessarily a 2008 yaoi type situation. I could easily see that happening in a current modern day like yaoi where that sort of stuff is taken a little bit more seriously. At the very least, both Usami and Hiro were aware and were mature enough to be in that situation where like they've both given their consent to do something that is a little bit of a yikes, a little bit uncomfortable, but again, there was a consent given by both parties. I assume Takahiro would maybe have some issue with this whole thing, but you know, he doesn't have to know about what they were getting up to. And it's quite the cold open to the show. And like, to me, it was horribly brutal, right? Because the way this opens is like, you're not made aware that this is the past, right? So at first I'm thinking like, Usami, you cad, you cheating cad. But no, he doesn't. No, but people don't use the word cad enough anymore. But no, he's not cheating. This is the past. This was several years ago. I believe they say specifically this was 6 years ago. They even make reference to the fact that at this time, Usami is attending the university that later Misaki would attend 6 years later. So he's still a student at this time. Him, Hiro, and later on we find out Nawaki as well. Although he isn't quite a student, he just is trying to become a student at this university. Regardless, yeah, it's quite the intense way to open the episode. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot. But at the same time, the emotion is so genuine, and the way it's handled, I thought, like, considering the suggestiveness of the scene, I thought it was handled really, really well, believe it or not. I thought, like, you can feel the emotions in both characters, and, like, the intimacy of the moment is also, like, really genuine. It's in the dark, and it's all quiet and everything, and it's just a really surprisingly well-handled scene. Normally, in this type of thing, like in this type of situation, I would expect, especially the fact that it's a yaoi from 2008, I wouldn't have faulted them if they went like all like too fan servicey with it. But they don't go that route. They actually try to make you feel for not only Usami, who's in this like very peculiar situation, but also for Hiro, who ends up having his heart snapped in half like a Twix bar. And yeah, it was pretty brutal to watch, in all honesty. And at the very least, this is then compounded by the meeting by bottle rockets that is the first interaction between Hiroki and Nawaki. Hiro is obviously, he's still dwelling on this thing that happened between him and Usami. I don't know how much time has passed between that incident with Usami and him meeting Nawaki, but it's enough time that Hiro has attempted to try to move on. He's trying his best to sort of come to grips with what happened, although it's still really, it's a touchy subject for him, and in fairness, yeah, it would be. But Nawaki, when he stumbles across Hiro, this is the first time they meet, and he sees this man is like really, really crying, like heavy, heavy tears. And it's almost immediately clear that like there's going to be some emotions here. There's going to be some type of relationship forming between the pair. And Nawaki later on says that he basically fell for him at first sight. And it's the emotion in that scene. You don't really notice it because you're seeing it from Hiro's perspective, where this random dude like basically almost beans him upside the head with a bottle rocket and then just whisks him away to meet these old dudes who Nawaki just knows, I guess. Like, he's just friends with these business tycoon dudes. And yeah, he's just, and like you get a little bit of his backstory, and Nawaki's just a good dude, like just such a good guy. Like they established that he like from shortly after he was born, he was dropped off at an orphanage and he grew up there, but he never resented the orphanage, as opposed to somebody like, say, from Ascendants of a Bookworm, who might take issue with said orphanage. Nawaki's orphanage, I assume, was good to him, and he wants to try his best to take care of that orphanage, and he wants to actually become like a social worker so that he can take over the orphanage one day. And he's like made all these business connections. He's a hardworking dude. They established, I think, that he has like 6 different part-time jobs, which, yikes, 6 different jobs. And he's trying to study hard enough to actually get his, I believe it's some sort of, like, he has to pass like some sort of test. There's a name for it. I forget what it is. There's a name for it here in Canada as well. But I can't recall. It's basically like your GED, essentially. Like if you didn't complete high school, you'd have to complete this test, and then you'd be able to go to college and university. And so he's trying to work 6 jobs, and he's trying to get into university so that he can become a social worker, so that he can take over the orphanage. Just a genuinely good dude. And Hiro really surprised me, because at first I was like, man, like, pretend I'm Takahiro? What a weird thing to say to somebody. That's sleazy. Like, this guy must be a jerk. No, he just really, really, really cared about Usami and just wanted to be near him in any way he could. And he gets his little heart broken, and my God, Hiro, I really, like, just felt for. I really felt for Hiro and Nawaki in this episode. And again, I said it at the beginning of the video, I will restate it again here. Yeah, like Junjo Egoist, this is what I would like to see more of. I would rather these two be the main couple. And that's saying so. And Usami, man, like that, like once they reveal that Usami, Usami loved Takahiro, and we know that like Takahiro never reciprocated those feelings, and it really tore Usami up. Usami did the same thing to Hiro, so like that man has no right to complain. And it just, like, I know that Usami was not like aware, like in the same way that Takahiro wasn't aware, but like part of me feels like that might be bullshit. And like a part of me feels like you knew. And just, I want to believe that Usami didn't, but given what we know about him, he is a complex character, you know what I mean? Like, the character writing, I can't stress enough. Whether or not I say a character is good or bad, it doesn't matter, because the character writing is really strong in this series. Like, at least I feel like it. And it's interesting to me that Usami could have very well known that Hiro felt that way, but just didn't care and chose to pretend like that wasn't the case. I can easily see that coming up either later on in this season or possibly in season 2 or 3. And it's like that really surprised me, that like it just kind of changed my view of Usami, as if I didn't already have kind of a twisted, kind of tilted view of Usami, you know, like always kind of look at him with the side eye, like, don't trust you. After Junjo Egoist, I was like, no, bro. And man, it's you could just tell, like, not only how much of a better ship this is, but like just that whole line of like, that tenderness wounds me. Those like little like quick, like, just, you'll get these cuts where it's just a black screen with white text, and it's just like what Hiro is really feeling, even though he's too stubborn and goofy to admit that. And seeing him still be so torn up over Usami, and Nawaki just really, really trying his best to take Usami's place. It's emotional stuff, man. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, love at first sight. Brr, 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 brr. Hey, man, that happens. It does happen. I know it's silly, and like we all like point at Disney and are like, oh, love at first sight. Brr, 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 brr. No, that happens sometimes. It's just most of us aren't as bold as Nawaki and don't just admit that we fall for somebody at first sight. Nawaki just outright declares, like, I fell for you at first sight. I was jealous that you cared about Usami, and my jealousy got the better of me. I shouldn't have told you what I told you that quickly. It was unfair of me to do that. I'm sorry. And it's just so good. It's just so good. And oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. And they also have there's another horizontal hustle scene. And again, no yikes, because they were both consenting adults, and it was actually again, a really well-handled scene. Don't know who the episode director was for this one, but unbelievable kudos to you. And it's honestly just one of the better episodes. This is the first episode that really had me laughing my ass off, too. Like there's that whole scene with Hiro at the cafe. Like, Hiroki just, like, hiding out in the cafe with his, like, craptastic disguise, just spying on Nawaki from across the way. It was really, really funny. I thought that whole scene was hilarious, and the Nawaki in general is really funny. Hiro, I really like. I find him incredibly sympathetic, and just like he felt very real. Like the way he reacts to things felt like very, still sort of like, again, still 2008, but still very, like, I don't know. He seems the most like a genuine person out of the cast so far. The only issue I have with the episode, because I do have an issue, and the only issue I have is right at the tail end, where they establish that it's now 6 years later and Nawaki has disappeared. What? Like, Nawaki apparently, like, disappeared shortly after they hook up, and it's 6 years later and the dude's returning back to town from New York. What? Like, did they at least, like, did the relationship maintain? What the freak? What's going on? I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because the rest of the episode, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, easily my favorite episode so far. I know we're only 3 episodes in, but this is gonna be a tough one to beat. With that said, everybody, I'm going to wrap up my thoughts here. Question of the day today: who is the funniest Junjo Romantica character? They can be a character who has been introduced yet or hasn't. Let me know in the comments below. And that's gonna do it for today's video, everybody. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then by all means hitting that like button and leaving a comment down below is a great way to help out this channel, as it pleases the almighty YouTube algorithm. So if you choose to do so, kudos to you. And if you're feeling extra supportive today, you can go ahead and check out all the links in the description. One goes to my Twitter, another one is to our Discord server, another one to our merch store if you feel like grabbing yourself a mug, and of course, our Patreon page. And speaking of the Patreon page, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you in the T Squadron who support this channel month to month. Let's go ahead and do the Earl Grey shoutouts. Izevi, Andrew W., Branson C., Bria Rose, Calvin A., Crowbar of Irony, Daniel G., Digger the Fox, Dominic G., Emily, Ionos, Urza, Ginkotaku, Godzilla Fan, No For Nothing, Maria T., Marshall B., Mater, Mirth Mouser, Cell, Shadow Creative, Stephen G., Sakochi, The Suavest Orange, Tristan G., and Veridon. Thanks so much for your continued support over on Patreon, everybody, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out the first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. That is a huge way to support the channel. And again, be sure to check out the other stuff in the Discord as well. Go join our Discord. It is now public. You can all join. Everybody can hop in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter if you want me to ramble at you even more. And until next time, you stay classy, AnyTube, and wash your dang hands.